Hello everyone, so welcome back to my channel. For those who don't know me, my name is Aditya and I am a BI professional. So I have worked in various tools like Tableau, Power BI, and I have also experience in Python and SQL language. So if you are new to this channel and if you are looking to learn any of these tools and languages that I have told you, then you have come to the right place. So for those who are watching my channel, so my main focus is you can learn the basic concept, how to apply it, and with the help of real world example. So that is the main motive of the channel. So if you're new to it, then do subscribe it and also share it with your friends. And in this particular video, this is the part 3 of our Python series. So for the part 1 and part 2, I have got a good support from all of you guys who have watched my videos, and it means a lot to me, so thank you for that. So in this particular video, our main focus is to understand the two main library, that is Plotly and Dash. So this is the part 1 series of data visualization using Python. So basically, like, we have learned like how to build or develop dashboard in Tableau or Power BI. If you want to build a dashboard as a web application, that also you can do with the help of Python libraries, that is Dash and Plotly. So we'll be going to understand that today, and we'll be learning like what the basic structure, does the dash how does the Dash and Plotly works, and what is the main difference between that two libraries. And we'll be building a simple application for this particular use case, so you will get a better understanding. And the part 2 and part 3 that will be coming up, we'll be moving one step ahead and we'll be building a live dashboard with the help of it. So I hope you guys are excited by now. So let's get started. So let me just give you an overview of like what does these two library do. So basically, like, Plotly library is like, as the name says, like we have to plot something, right? So that means like if you want to plot any kind of visualization, and like that time, like, you have to use Plotly library. Like there are other library also like matplotlib and cbond, like, which are commonly used, but like I just wanted you to introduce to the Plotly library because like it offers like endless customization that you can do to your visualization. And like nowadays, like if you want to create a cool visualization that is intuitive as well as effective in the communication power, and if you also want to attract your end customer, like, yeah, it is looking so cool, it is like working so well, like it is not taking that much time, performance is good, then like we can also use Plotly. Okay, the second thing is like Dash. So basically, like, Dash is like a web framework, you can say. Like for the web application, it is like a framework where all our visualization will be residing. So Plotly, like, after creating a visualization using Plotly, what we have to do is like dash you can remember as a container, like in Tableau. Like I'm just giving an analogy, like if you are new, if you know about Tableau. So basically, like if you have a canvas with you, so in canvas, like, you have to put different containers, and in different containers you want to give like different visualization, and you want to give your filters and filters or like parameters. So that kind of thing you can assume as Dash. So basically, Dash is a framework where all your Plotly visualization will reside. Okay, so let me just show you like one of the cool dashboard visualization, like, that is hosted in the Plotly uh, documentation. So like this kind of dashboard we can develop using Plotly. So this shows the like the true power of Python. Like this seems to be like a Tableau, we have developed dashboard, and we have to launch in Tableau server or Tableau public. And the same thing, like, you have a Plotly or Dash framework, so they have launched in the Plotly and Dash library. But we also have the option to like deploy the app in different server, that will be dealing in later part of the course. So just to give you an overview, like how does an app look. So you can see this is one of the clinical analytics dashboard. So you can see the end user have like given like two analysis they have done. So one is like patient volume, he is showing the patient volume by day and the time. That is like very effective, and like it shows like cool. And you have different options here, like you can zoom in, zoom out, and you can zoom, so that all thing are there, pan and zoom, everything. Download as a PDF also option you have. And then the down, like we have like patient wait time and satisfactory score, which is shown in the form of circle timeline. So that is not most commonly used, like I don't prefer it, but like it is counter intuitive in some of the cases. For this, like, it is intuitive. And the person has given like two filters, you can see. This is just like drill down. So, and the user have also the flexibility to select the date range, like suppose I want to select the date range, so that is also there. So that shows like how cool, like, we can develop a dashboard. But like in this creating of this part, like there involves like different steps, right? So let me just introduce you to the 5-way framework that will be following while developing an app So this is the part 1 of the series. So in just want to give you the familiarity how we can create a simple app using Dash. So in future, like we'll be moving into advanced visualization also, so don't worry of that. So if you are new to the channel and if you also want to learn about this library, then do subscribe it as it helped me a lot. So these are the 5 steps. So brief overview of this 5-step framework. Then we'll be deep diving into Python notebook and we'll be doing one by one, step by step live demonstration of each of the steps, and we'll learn how does each step work. Okay, we have to import a necessary library. So in this step, like we can see, like we've imported like Dash, that is the application that will be deploying, and like we've also imported HTML and DCC. So HTML is the like the front end part. So the web, for building a web application, you need to be have a HTML site, right? So we have to have an HTML element in our Dash application, and DCC is like a dashboard core component. So basically, like for creating drop downs, for creating buttons, for creating graphs and visualization, like we'll be requiring DCC library, library. Okay, so the thing is, like first step is like for importing the libraries. So after we have done the importing part, the second step is like we have to create an app where are all the visualizations will be staying, right? So we have to give like app equal to dash component we have to call, and inside we have to give a double underscore name, double underscore, like this is the common way we have to give our variable to launch an app. Then after we have given this, the third step is like the front end where all our coding will be going on. So basically, like how we want our front end to show. So in this case, like we want to show the user the heat map and the circle timeline, and we also want to show the drop downs and like this date ranges, right? So these all things comes under like the app layout part. So we have to code it, so that will be dealing it, no need to worry. And the fourth part is backend. So basically backend is like you can see, like I have written this callback function. So let me just give you an overview of what the callback function do. So if you are familiar with Tableau, so we can create an analogy from that. Like as we have understand, like we have parameters. So parameters are like the self-defined thing. Like if I want the user to choose uh, between like profit and sales, if I want to use the flexibility, like if they want to see the profit by country or if they want to sales by country, and I want to give in the drop down profit or sales. So if I create a parameter and show that parameter, it will not work unless like I have wired it up, right? Remember. So the same thing is with the callback function. So basically we have to define like what are inputs and what are the output we want when you want to give an output in our visualization, right? So that is the function of callback. Then comes like the last part. So basically this is the server where our app will be running. So this is the main server where our app will be running. So this is the general code that you have to give every time you are running your app. And for deploying thing, we can deploy into Plotly and Dash server or in other server also, but that will be doing in the later part of the videos. So I hope you have got the basic familiarity of the term. So I just wanted you to understand first, and now let us just deep dive into Python notebook and see how to do so. So the first thing is like you have to import the library, that is Dash and Plotly. So like if you are starting this video, so you might in your Jupyter notebook there might be scenario like Plotly and Dash is not so there might be scenario like for you guys like Plotly and Dash might be not installed in the system. So for installing it, just you have to write this simple statement, just copy this and write this. So basically I'm just importing system utility file, and in my conda I'm calling like install and yes, and the system location, and I'm just giving the Plotly library. So this code you can just copy paste. I will just give in the description, and the same thing, just remove this Plotly and replace it with Dash. So your Plotly and Dash will be installed. So after the installation is completed, you will get a message like this: all requested packages are already installed. So we are good to go. So now let us start with the 5-way framework that we learned. So the first thing is like we need to import the libraries, like necessary, right? So in this case, like from Dash import, then in your keyboard you can give tab. So tab will show you like what all things are available in this Dash library. So if you're new to it, because you don't have to memorize it, like when you're working in it, you will be getting a clear idea. And moreover, like we have Python documentation, so that is a cool place to go to if you're starting new, because like everything we cannot learn, right? So the thing is like we should know the basic intuition of doing it. I believe the other thing we can solve it out using Google and all. So the first thing is like from Dash we are importing Dash element, the HTML element like for building a front end, and dashboard component DCC. And from okay, so only this part like I want to do as if now. Okay, the second part, input and output, we'll be doing later on in this particular video. So let us just build a basic app first. So now thing is, the second step is create an app, right? So app equal to call your dash function, that is like dash library, sorry, and we have to give underscore underscore name variable in the dash and click on enter. So if I click call my app variable, so you can see a dash app has been, like a layout has been created for me in the backend, so it is successfully run, right? Now the thing is, like, we have to provide a layout like what we want the user to show in an app, right? So now what we have to do is app.layout, and what I want is, the first thing is I want to give html.div. So in the div part, like what I want the user to show, so the first thing is, like, suppose I want to show welcome to Professor Analytics. Okay, I'm just giving my channel name, and before running it, what I want to do is I want to run it into a server, right? So we have to follow the last step, so that I showed you. So if I go back, so you have to give this condition like the main server, right? So if my name equal to main, then app dot run underscore server. So if I run this app, so you can see there is some error, so I have to give double equal to here, click on enter. So there's one more error, HTML dist. Okay, I given small d, so here it is capital D. Perfect. So you can see it is showing me like in the Jupyter notebook as well as in the Jupyter notebook, but like suppose if I want to show in a different web server, so in this version, like now they have given in the Jupyter notebook only we can see the output to show it. So I just want to open in a different tab, so just hashtag do it comment, and if I click on this, so you will see a dashboard running app on a particular IP address. Okay, so if I click on this link, so you can see a particular dash framework has been made like this, we have seen in the dashboard. And in this particular case, like I have just given the simple element welcome to Professor Analytics, so that's why it is just showing me that. So that shows like our web application have been developed, right? So this is how simple it is, like just you need to understand the basic concept and it is done. So I know this is a very basic framework, but like congratulate you, like you have become a web developer, you can say, like to certain extent, like you have started your journey in the web application frame as well. So now the thing is, this is clear, right? So now the thing is, like, let me just do more. So now what I want to do is I want to see like who are watching my channel. So from where are you watching my channel? Suppose I want to ask this question. If I click on control enter, so you can see our dashboard layout has been done. So now the thing is, just give a space, so to like this, then we have to add comma, and then after adding comma, like we can introduce like the drop down. Like for creating drop down, we have to use the dashboard component, right, that I told you. So we're using DCC. So for creating a drop down, so we're using drop down, and in the drop down, like we have like several things. So you can see by creating shift tab, you can see these are the things we can give inside the drop down. So I'll be giving like 3 options here. So the first option is like I want to give the options from which like they'll be selecting, so that I can give a list. So like people, if the people are watching from India, or if the people are watching from China, or people are watching from USA, or people are watching from Japan, or people are watching from Nigeria. So I want to give these 4 options as the users. Then what I can give is, like after I have given this drop down, so what I can do is I can just write the value that I want to be selected first. Or what I can do is I can just not give this value as if now, just give this much thing and click on enter. So you can see if I have run this cell, so you can see now I have gotten simple drop down. if I want to select USA, Japan, Nigeria, India, right? But now what I want is, when you starting you saw like the it's what nothing it was selected, right? So like as if now I'm selecting USA, so it is USA. Okay, so what I want is, I want it to be selected uh, as India by default. Okay, so what I can do is, I can just give inside the drop down one, after giving options I can just select value equal to India, so that will be my default value, and I can just click on enter. So you can see now my drop down is like India, right? So if I want to change it, I can just do that. So suppose if I want my value to be USA, or like Seattle, or any state if you want to give, you can give that. So just control, so you can see now the USA is default. Okay, but like I'll be giving India as if now as the priority, so that is okay. So now this is perfect, right? So I hope you're clear with it. So now the thing is, after we have created a layout, so I'm just giving back. So just okay. So now the thing is like I want this parameter to work. Now I have, as if now like I'm just selecting it, but nothing is happening. Okay, so like the watch money heist, if I want to analyze like which season is the perfect season, so that all thing like we can deal with by importing pandas and manipulating with it, and then implementing plotly and dash. So this particular video motive is to understand the basic layout, like how to create an basic app and how to understand this term. Okay, so I hope you're clear with it. So now this is done. So now the thing is like we will just see like how to wire this up, how to wire this. So the thing is like I told you like we have to create a callback function like for wiring it up, right? So what I can do is like app dot callback. So in the callback function, like there are two arguments, that is input and output. So for creating input output, like we have to just import it, that we are not imported. So from dash dot dependency library, we'll be importing input input comma output, small input comma output. Okay, so now the thing is like whenever you are creating a callback function, just remember it like the output come first in this. First you have to give your output, and then you have to give your input. So if you're familiar with I think linear regression models or something, so there it is like somewhat opposite. So that will be dealing later on in the my YouTube channel. So that is one of the thing. So now the thing is like in the output and input, like we have to provide something, right? Like what all thing we have to give, that we'll be discussing now. So the thing is like when you have created a layout, so the thing is like you have to create an element that is present in the layout that will act as an input to your input string. Okay, so for creating that, what you have to do, I can just write id field will be, id field is like an input. So our input is like uh, from where they're watching my channel, like from which country they're watching. Okay, so just I'm changing my sentence a bit, from which country are you watching my channel function. So now the next thing is like, let me just write the statement first. So id is like, what is the id? So like this is my country input, so that the user selecting. Okay, so what I have to do is like in my input, whatever you are providing in the input in the front end, you have to give it here the variable name. Okay, and what I want is, I want this to return the value, right? Like this should take the value from the parameter that we have selected, so that's why I'm writing the value. Okay, so after writing this HTML layout, so now what I have to do is like I have to give my output, right? So I want my output to be shown here like after that. Okay, so what I will do is I will just write the output in the particular front end. So for this particular example, like I'm just creating a simple app, so what I'm giving is I'm just giving the HTML element again. So in my HTML I just want like h3. So h3 basically means header, like you're creating. So header I'm creating. So in my header what I want is just I'm giving my, so in the header I'm just giving my id field, like that will act as my header. So country output, so this will be providing in the output function. So this is the thing. So now what I want to do is I want to provide as a text. So for providing a text, like we write children. If we are providing any visual, like then we write graph or visual here. So this is a high terminology. So this is the basic app that we are developing, and this is a lot I know. So this terminology you might be not understanding it now, but like in the second part of the video you'll be fully understanding, because like we'll be like ingesting visualization in that. So just to like for your preference, you can understand it like this. Like if I want to show the text in my app, so then we write children. If I want to show any visual, then we write figure or visual, like that I will be showing you in the next video. So this is the one of the thing that you should remember as of now. So we have created an output. Okay, so like after I have used my callback function. So what I have to do is I have to just create a function to return the output, like what is the output I want to show, like after the user select from this drop down, right? So for that case, what I have to do is I have to create my function. So for creating a function, in Python, like we can use def, and like after def, like just give a function name. So simple app I'm just giving, and inside it I want to give my parameter, like argument. So I'm just giving state argument and colon, and then what I want to do is I just want to return just simple f string. Okay, so this is the output that I want to give. So now we have written all the hardcore thing, and so I hope you are understood it. So let me just give a brief overview before running the app. So it might throw some error. We'll be solving that. So the first thing we started with, like importing the libraries. So after importing libraries, what we did is like we created an app. So after getting app, like we just created the application layout, like what I want to show. In this case, like we just deal with simple HTML. So I'm just doing HTML, and I've given DCC component, like that is dashboard control component, which is showing all the drop down and like what value it is selected. And this ID field is the main field. So basically like ID is like what is the input you are giving in the app layout. And after that, like I'm just giving html.h3, that is like the output I want to give. So that two things, this is the input, is the output, and this input and output I'm just providing in the callback function. And the callback function, like I'm providing two things, output and input. So input is like a value, like it is selecting from the drop down, so it is a value, right? And output is like we want the text to be shown up in the HTML app, that's why it's children. Okay, and then after I've written the callback function, I'm just defining a simple def function, in which like I'm just defining a simple app as a function name and passing the argument state in there, and just I'm returning one simple statement, like I am watching a channel from state. Okay, so let me just run this. So it is throwing me an error. So let me just check. Let me just do it down. So like we are opening the bracket here, and we are closing after the input one. Okay, so this is correct only. Then we are writing comma here, and there is nothing. So yeah, so the thing is like we have not provided comma here, like before our output thing. So just provide a comma here, and now if I run this, so you can see now it has successfully run, right? So you can see if I select like China, so you can see I'm watching a channel from China. So thank you China peoples if you're watching it, and thank you all the people who are watching me, like from wherever country you are. So it means a lot to me. And if you are learning something from my videos, and if you think like my video are super helpful in understanding the basic concept, then do subscribe it and also share with friends. So in the next part, like we'll be dealing with like plotly library, and we'll be understanding like what are the different kind of visualization and which kind of visualization you should use. And then we'll be also learning in the upcoming series like how to use visualizations in the particular framework, like in the dash framework. So now you've understand the basic concept, like how to create a layout and all. So this will be super helpful for you to develop an app. So I hope you're super excited to develop an app now, like to build a dashboard in Python. So let me just rerun it once again in the another tab. So if I click on this, so you can see this is how a framework is. So this is working fine, perfect. So this is how cool Python is, and like different functionality we can do while knowing a little about it. So see you soon in the next video. Till then, happy vision. Bye bye.